Oh yeah, just like that, I'm back once again at Universal Studios Hollywood to check up on the park, but this time we're not just going to be focusing on the roller coaster. We're going to be focusing on Halloween Horror Nights and all the other projects happening around the park. And before I forget, hello everyone, welcome back to another Theme Park Obsession video. My name is Dylan and thank you so much for tuning back into the channel. Yeah, we're cruising around Universal Studios Hollywood today. I know there's been a lot of Universal content on the channel lately, and it's just because there's a lot happening here and there's a lot to document. So don't worry, I'll be back at Disney and Knott's Berry Farm, Six Flags, and everybody else here very, very soon. But for right now, yeah, there's a lot to talk about at Universal. So how about you and I dive right in? And upon entering the park, yeah, it is busy. I parked at the top of Jurassic parking and the other lots were pretty full. So I'm anticipating a lot of people. And yeah, just by the looks of it, there's a lot of people up here in the front. Oh wow, and the Wicked photo op is very popular today. Rightfully so, it's a really popular movie, and I'm sure the second one is gonna crush. And that photo op is all a part of the mega movie summer happening here at Universal Studios Hollywood. So there's a few festivities going on, including the addition of a bunch of new merchandise that coincides with the Jurassic World movie coming out, Jaws for the anniversary, How to Train Your Dragon, that movie is now out in theaters. So yeah, there's a lot going on for Universal. And don't worry, we'll get to the merchandise a little bit later on in today's video. Yeah, and don't forget over here at the Hollywood and Dine, it's been transformed into the Amity Island Cafe. I had the fish and chips here the other day and they were pretty good. And speaking of Jaws, they have the photo op back in the park after so long. It was here for the 60th anniversary of the tram tour, but they have it in the park now with some characters, and it's just right next to Waterworld if you're wondering where the heck this is. And for those worried that the photo op might disappear after the summer, I don't think so. I think this is going to be around for quite some time because look at the permanent infrastructure that they've done for this photo op. I mean, yeah, she's in here. Okay, let's continue the journey over to the Parisian Courtyard to check up on the Halloween Horror Nights construction. Okay, so here's your latest look at the Parisian Courtyard Haunted House. Now, this has not been announced just yet at the time of making this video, so it's still one big mystery. I'm still leaning towards an original haunted house, like I've mentioned in the previous vlogs, and that's just because the past few years, they've done an original haunted house in this location, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see another one and or a haunted house themed to Latin America once again. So yeah, there's a big possibility there. I do hope that they also think about other cultures. That would be kind of cool to do some other cultures in the spot one of these years. But yeah, I don't know. It's looking really good though. The facade is beautiful. Once again, huge shout out to the designers and the people that put all this stuff together because I'm so happy that once again this spot has a beautiful looking facade already and it hasn't even received its paint or final detailing. And from the French Street side, we're not really seeing too many differences over the hedge, but it's okay because in just a couple months, this event will be open. Now, when it comes to the Pets Place side, you can see a little bit more of the haunted house. You see that the walls do get pretty tall in that particular section that we could see from the street. So yeah, very curious to see how everything's gonna look like once it's all done. And I know these two are excited about Halloween Horror Nights. Yeah, I mean, it's your guys' favorite time of year. I know, it's all about you. It really is. I mean, it's really all about you guys at Epic Universe too. So I'm glad that yeah. I know, it's crazy. So I cannot wait. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to walk through that haunted house over there with you too. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, let's go wait in line right now. Okay, next up, let's make our way over to the studio tour because we have some HHN stuff to talk about over there. But wait, let me tell a story about HHN and the Universal Plaza right here. Yeah, for those that don't know, I worked Halloween Horror Nights for over 10 years. My first year was in 2011. But one year over here, this was I think 2014, yeah, I believe this was 2014. This spot right here is infamous because me and a few castmates were cracking up laughing due to a music cue. And in 2014, that's when the park was still doing the opening ceremony. So that theme that year was The Purge, and I was a polite stranger, and a few of my other friends were different characters. And about 10 to 15 minutes before the opening ceremony happened, we would stage ourselves in that spot by the plaza out of guest view so people wouldn't see us. Then roughly about 5 minutes before the opening of the event where the fire towers would go off and everything like that and we'd rush the crowd, they would push the crowd forward up to the rope or like to a particular spot that they wanted people to be at. And while we were back there at the plaza tower, we would be listening for a music cue because when the music cue happened, that's when we would get ready and then walk out at a particular vocal. So then by the time we got to our mark, the song was at its peak, and it all made sense, and it worked beautifully. So by the time the fire towers would go off, it would look really good. Well, one day, we weren't paying attention, and we had to wear these choir robes that in the opening ceremony we would take off. So that's why we had to time the music cue really well, because we were lip syncing to the music, and we'd have to take off the choir robe and then reveal that we were ready to purge and all that kind of fun stuff. Well, yeah, again, we were not paying attention, and that music cue came on by. And when the music cue came by, we didn't even have our robes on, and someone in the group heard the music cue and was like, OMG, we gotta go. So we were scrambling to throw on our choir robes, and they had to zip up. So someone should have a video out there on the internet. I still can't find it, but I'm sure there's a video. Our robes were messed up. The cue, we like missed the cue. We were laughing. It was hard to try to hold character because it was so ridiculous, because we just weren't paying attention and we missed that music cue, and we were supposed to walk in a line and formation and everything. And I remember our casting management just shaking their head going like, you guys are idiots. Like, you guys are the biggest idiots ever. And we were laughing so much. I remember we got off the set because we were only on set for a little bit. And then those who went on break would go on break. And we walked backstage, and we just started dying laughing because it was just so hilarious. So yeah, funny stuff for sure, and that's just one of many memories. And I'll have to tell some more stories here on the channel, especially as we inch a little bit closer to the opening of Halloween Horror Nights this season. I'm not going to be working it this year. I'm going to be taking a break. My body needs a break after a few years of doing it. So yeah, as we get a little closer, I'll tell a couple more stories, because as I walk through areas of the park, it just kind of like, it pops back up in my head of all the, the fun little shenanigans that we all did a few years ago at HHN. Now I'm making a slight detour through the Wizarding World to the studio tour, because I wanted to showcase that they do have some new tasty treats available across from the Ollivander's Wand shop. It's a little hard to tell through the glare there, but they do have some specialty churros available and meat pies, along with the usual suspects that have been at this cart for a minute. And they also have this, the Time Turner. So you can buy this and then take it over to Epic Universe if you want to and start turning some time. And I would assume that the Hogwarts House churros change from day to day. I mean, at least that would be pretty cool if they did. Made it over here to the studio tour, and man, oh man, thankfully I rode this the other day. Yeah, I rode yesterday at the time of making this video, and it was a walk-on when I did the tram. So that was perfect timing on my end. The summer crowds are here, so if you are coming to Universal Studios Hollywood this summer, just brace for it. Just like every summer at every theme park, it's gonna be a little busy, so just be patient, especially with the team members. Now, because I was able to ride the studio tour the other day, I got some really good HHN footage for you, starting off with Jurassic World. It's so nice to see a haunted house pop up in this location once again after so many years of it being absent. And as far as the facade is concerned, yeah, I have no clue what's going on here. At first it was looking like a Pizza Hut, and now they're starting to add that thatched roofing to the top of it. It's like that tiki kind of roofing that you see, the layered palm look. So yeah, I don't know, go ahead and comment down below. What do you think this one's gonna be? Because I have no idea. I'm just excited that there's gonna be a haunted house in this location once again. Then there's the haunted house that's located behind Transformers, which clearly is Scarecrow. I would be shocked if it was something different. Again, nothing is official until the company makes it official, so this is just all pure speculation on my end and putting one context clue together with another. But I'm gonna put money on it being Scarecrow because it looks identical to the Scarecrow that we had here a couple years ago, which I loved that haunted house, and it's looking great this year. The facade is looking fantastic, and when you look a little closely on the outside perimeter of the haunted house, they're starting to hook this bad boy up. Next up, by the Bates Motel, it looks like they're clearing stuff out in preparation for Terror Tram. So that's very exciting. Yeah, they don't really have that much longer to go until the event opens up. So yeah, they have to start building out the Terror Tram goodies, which I have no idea what they're supposed to be this year. I'm hoping that we get some really cool gauntlets and whatnot and different little walkthroughs, because I do like when they do that at Terror Tram. It adds a little bit more to the experience than just kind of walking in a giant pathway. I like when they weave people in and out of set pieces. So here's hoping they do that again this year. And then finally, the H-Lot haunted houses. It's really hard to see the one closest to the tram pathway, but we can get a good view of the facade happening on the one closest to the parking structure. And just like how we kind of know about Scarecrow, I think this one's Poltergeist because it looks identical to the Poltergeist house that we had a couple years ago. So I'm putting money on it being Poltergeist once again. And it looks like we'll have 2 returning haunted houses this year in the lineup. And as far as the Halloween Horror Nights front, yeah, that's all the work happening on the studio tour, but really good shots. So if you are riding the studio tour and you are interested in Halloween Horror Nights construction, well, yeah, you have plenty to look at, which is really, really fun, especially as we're inching that much closer to the grand opening of the event on, I believe, September 4th. And then something else that I noticed on the studio tour is they're building for a production near the tail end of the studio tour next to the former Fast and the Furious attraction. Yeah, they're putting up some scaffolding and getting everything ready to go for a major production, which is really cool to see because it's been a minute since I've seen a production in that spot of the backlot. That's pretty much all the excitement over here at the studio tour, so let's continue the journey down to the lower lot. See you later, studio tour. Until next time. Yeah, like posted 60-minute wait. I don't think it's 60 minutes. It might be like 40 because each tram does hold like 200 people, so might not be that bad. Now, as I'm making my way down to the lower lot, here you go. Here's your latest look at the pull-through test happening on Fast and the Furious Hollywood Drift. Oh yeah, they've made it to the element over the escalator. How exciting. They're moving pretty quickly. I know it doesn't seem like it, but they are. They also still have a long way to go. This is going to take them a few more weeks. But the fact that they've gotten this far in just a couple days is pretty good. I'm going to continue the journey downstairs, but yeah, I just wanted to make a quick little stop to show you the latest on Fast and the Furious. Yeah, they're slowly but surely making their way through the layout. It's going to look crazy when they go over the top of the escalator here. And then here's the other side just for good measure. Yeah, you can see they haven't done any more support columns for the scream shields just yet. Those will pop up here hopefully within the next few weeks. But I have a feeling they're going to finish this pull-through test of this element before they even get started on that. Okay, switching gears from the roller coaster to HHN. Here's your latest look at the Halloween Horror Nights haunted house behind Revenge of the Mummy. Now this one's been confirmed. This is the Jason Universe haunted house. Really nice that we're getting Jason making a comeback to Halloween Horror Nights after so many years. And that's what the facade is looking like. It's looking really good. Looks like Jason's shack that's out in the middle of the woods. So that is going to be our starting point for this attraction. And at the tail end of the haunted house, you can see that they've applied some roofing to the end. And that might be because they are working on spraying some foam or something. There might be some rock work back there, and they don't want any of that foam to be going all over the place. But yeah, this Jason Universe one should be really fun. I'm very interested to see what movies they pull from. Fingers crossed that we get some Jason X in there, because Jason X is just so ridiculous that I feel like it has to be featured at the event. And then here's your look at the retaining wall project. They're moving along really, really quickly. These past few weeks, they've been making great progress. And again, I'm thinking this is all just a hint towards some future expansions here at Universal Studios, because they've shaved off quite a bit of the hill already. And I'm assuming they're going all the way to the ground. Now here's another shot of that retaining wall. Yeah, so much work has happened. I mean, they've been getting really, really far down. And look over here off in the distance, some new structural steel has gone into the ground. So that might be the cutoff point right there. They might not go beyond that. Or maybe they will, I don't know. This is still one big giant mystery, and Universal hasn't announced anything as far as expansion plans or any sort of new ride after Fast and the Furious. I'm thinking they might, though, because Disney just announced their plans not too long ago for Avatar and Coco, and then the Gateway project. So yeah, I mean, I feel like the ball is in Universal's court now. And then here's a good shot of the HHN haunted house, the Jason haunted house. You can see inside right there. A little bit of detail going on. It's the inside of his shack. Okay, I just made my way back upstairs. I went downstairs to the lower lot, rode Mummy, and also just wanted to check up on Jurassic World just to, see how wet people were getting, because they do have the cannons turned on for the summer, and yeah, you get soaked, which is fine because it's like 90 degrees and it feels great. So if you want to get soaking wet, head down to Jurassic World. But I think next up is Water World. We're going to check that out. Then we're going to take a peek at some of the merchandise and then finish off with City Walk. And then, yeah, we're going to wrap it up. right, finished up with Waterworld. That was a lot of fun. Always a great show. I just love the crowd reaction when the seaplane goes over the top there. The crowd reaction is great. But let's go ahead and finish off today's video with some merch and City Walk. Okay, it's time for some merchandise. I've already gone over some of the Back to the Future and Jurassic Park stuff, but I'm on the hunt for some Halloween Horror Nights merchandise because they do have some preview stuff available in here. They also have a chess set, so if you want to play some chess while you're waiting in line for Jurassic World, well, there you go. Okay, here we go. So we have a Jason shirt right here. This is the Jason Universe shirt. Ooh, yeah, I am so excited for this haunted house. I think it's going to be pretty good. And then we have the Fallout t-shirt. Again, I am not familiar with Fallout. I have no idea what's going on in here. But I've heard good things, so yeah. Then they also have these available, the stained glass window kind of thing, where you can take the characters that are announced and put them in the glass there. And then we have some Jason mugs available. Ooh. Let's see, how much is this? This is $20 for the mug. And it looks like that's all we're dealing with HHN. I'm surprised they do not have any Five Nights at Freddy's stuff because they did announce that as well. So yeah, I'm wondering why they didn't roll out that merch. And then we obviously have a bunch of new Jurassic World stuff. I wonder if they'll ever do a Jurassic World themed haunted house. That would be kind of cool. They did a long time ago at Islands of Adventure when they did Islands of Fear. They had a Jurassic Park themed scare zone and haunted house. Okay, I've made my way out of the park. Let's check up on the action happening at City Walk. Now, right outside the old Billabong location, it looks like they are prepping the building for some paint. They do have some equipment out here too. And they've converted the store into just a generic Universal Studios store. And yeah, inside we just got your basic Universal stuff from the Minions, the Simpsons, Jurassic Park and World, How to Train Your Dragon, Jaws. I do love this right here. This is kind of cool. Still nothing going on at the former Popcornopolis location. Now, because they have a new Universal Studios store, the one that was right next to Hot Topic has closed. I'm sure they'll convert this into something new. And then over here at the new Insomnia Cookies, yeah, they're still looking the same. I do not know when this is supposed to open up, but maybe soon. I would assume that the main goal for all of these places, including Slice House, is to open in time for Halloween Horror Nights. Oh, and I forgot to mention before we move on towards the back half of City Walk, apparently Johnny Rockets is supposed to be closing here very, very soon, so I'll be keeping an eye on that. And then over here at the back end of City Walk, Escapology is now open. And they have a few options available for you here at Escapology. They have some family-friendly ones. Ooh, look at the Scooby-Doo one. That's cool. And they also have this haunted house one, so probably a little bit scarier. Price per player is $49.99. Get 8 players per room. Wait, I forgot one more thing, and that is the parking lot project, the new security checkpoint. And yeah, that's what it's looking like this week. So they have the forms up for more concrete. Still don't know what this is all supposed to look like. Universal hasn't released any official concept art, but I'm sure they will soon. And with that, my friends, I believe that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you could let me know by smashing the thumbs up button. And if you're new to the channel and you love these videos from Universal or some of your other favorite theme parks, well, you should consider subscribing because I have brand new videos every single week from some of your favorites. The links for my Instagram, X, and to directly support the channel will be right down in the description. But until the next video, I hope you have a beautiful day, morning, evening, whatever it is. I'll see you next time in the parks. Bye.